Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. While still more people gathered in the crowd, Jesus said to them, "This generation is an evil generation. It seeks a sign, but no sign will be given it except the sign of Jonah. Just as Jonah became a sign to the Ninevites, so will the Son of Man be to this generation. At the judgment, the Queen of the South will rise with the men of this generation, and she will condemn them, because she came from the ends of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And there is something greater than Solomon here. At the judgment, the men of Nineveh will arise with this generation and condemn it, because at the preaching of Jonah they repented. And there is something greater than Jonah here." The Gospel of the Lord. The Lord has sent Jonah to be a witness for him, to call the people of Nineveh to repentance and to conversion, to a change of heart that would be reflected in a change in their lifestyles and in the way that they treated one another with justice. But Nineveh, like all of us who are sent by our baptism to be prophets, was afraid of rejection, afraid of being ridiculed, and in the end, even afraid that God would fulfill his word and make him look ridiculous. But nevertheless, trying gradually, he came to understand what God wanted of him, even if he hid and was kept in the belly of the whale for 3 days. Jesus' use of that scriptural passage about Jonah's prophecy and the sign of Jonah to the Ninevites, who did indeed convert, is directed to the people of his time who, despite the fact that he has done wondrous signs and deeds, despite the fact that his preaching touches the deepest chords of the human heart, and invite those who listen to his word to a true change of heart and mind, one that adjusts to God's call to holiness. They still seek for more signs from him. There is no one who is more blind than the one who does not want to see, and more deaf than the ones who does not want to hear. And so Jesus reminds them that there is a wisdom greater than Solomon in his words, and that there is indeed a sign to come, his passion, death, and resurrection, which we celebrate at Easter and for which we prepare during the season of Lent. There will be no other sign. Now, we might think how hard of heart and how blind and deaf and stupid these people were. But the words of Jesus always have relevance to us until the end of time. And so we might call upon our own desire and constant seeking of signs, because we do. I don't know about you, but I've received countless, dozens and dozens of letters throughout my life. You know these chain letters? I'm sure you've all received it. Raise your hand if you have received one of these chain letters. And these chain letters invariably promise some marvelous thing if you promise to say certain prayers for certain days and then mail the letter out to 10 people or more. It's an incredible search for signs and wonders that turns God's mercy and compassion and love and generosity to a formula, indeed to a magic formula. And these from people, because I've received it from people that should know better. We go out to the desert to see a cloud formation that somebody saw the face of Jesus or the Blessed Mother. We look for the face of Christ in a tortilla. I was at a retreat, a men's retreat, and a young man came to confession. It was a wonderful confession. And after confession, he shared that what had moved him was that we were up on the mountains. We were in a kind of a retreat out in the forest, in this beautiful retreat house. And walking through the trees, he saw this tree trunk. And as a moment of grace, he saw kind of like maybe a silhouette that reminded him of the Blessed Mother. And this led him to thinking and reflection and pondering and conversion. It was a private revelation. It was a private moment of inspiration. Well, he must have shared it with a few of the other guys, because I had to intervene when I had like 20 men kneeling in front of this tree trunk praying the rosary. Okay, beautiful, men kneeling, praying the rosary. But there was really nothing there in the tree trunk. Suddenly they had converted the tree trunk into an object of devotion. We can do that in our lives. We can keep asking for signs from God and do not see the wonders that He has done for us. We can be blinded to His work all around us. Worse yet, we can be afraid, like Jonah, to fulfill our call to be a witness. And to know that even in our suffering, our pain and difficulties, we can be signs of God's presence and mercy to others in the way that we accept and offer that pain, suffering, loss, and sacrifice to the Lord for our own conversion and the conversion of others. In this season of Lent, let us stop looking for any more signs than the sign of Jonah. Because true wisdom lies in the Lord. And He calls each one of us to greater holiness and to witness to that to others, so that others may come to know the love and mercy and compassion of our God.